The sunny ways of the Liberal Party on display once again. I'm Brian Lilly with the Rebel.media. Well, we've been telling you time and again how the Liberal government under Justin Trudeau and ministers like John McCallum over at Immigration have been trying to hide details from coming out on the refugee rush plan. We've asked questions in news conferences, MPs have asked questions at committee, we've filed access to information requests. And what they keep wanting to do is block information from getting out. How much are we spending on hotels? How many hotels do we have for the refugees? What about the people put in quarantine after meeting with Prime Minister Trudeau? 300-day delays, refusals to answer questions, it goes on. And we thought it was just about the refugee rush. We've shown you the letters where they say, look, we're busy helping the Prime Minister on his mandate to bring in these Syrian refugees. We can't answer that. I've shown you the email that said, you'll find out at the end of the project. Well, it turns out it's not just the refugee rush that this department and this government want to block from getting out. John McCallum and senior officials, including a woman named Katrina Tapley, she's one of his senior strategic policy advisors, they were appearing before the House of Commons Immigration Committee. Now, Conservative critic Michelle Rempel sits on that committee, and she was asking a series of pointed questions on the Liberal plan to do away with a visa requirement for Mexican visitors to Canada. The Conservatives brought this in over a number of concerns: the ongoing narco-civil war in parts of northern Mexico, drug cartels, and, the issue of fake refugees. That's right, we had thousands of people showing up at American-Canadian border crossings. They traveled all the way through the United States and then would show up in Canada and declare refugee status. The Conservatives put an end to all of this. They put in a visa requirement for Mexicans to visit Canada. All of a sudden, Mexico, a NAFTA partner, wasn't a major source of refugees. The Liberals said they would do away with this. And Rempel was asking questions about how this was happening, pointing out that McCallum's mandate letter from Prime Minister Trudeau instructs him to do this immediately. But is that the safe way to act? Well, as Rempel started asking more questions, McCallum stepped in to say, no, the bureaucrat couldn't answer them. Watch the exchange.
Do technical experts in the public service believe that the Mexican passport is a reliable indicator of identity and nationality?
I think maybe that's enough.
I think so too.
We've come to a consensus that that's enough questions from Ms. Tapley.
Mr. Chair, point of order. Mr. Chair. Bosch and O'Brien on page 1068 says that witnesses must answer all questions which the committee put to them. The motion here states that department officials were invited to this committee. Witnesses are sworn in, and I've asked a question. I don't believe that the witnesses get to determine when a member is answered a question or not.
Mr. Chair, we'll bow to that authority, and Ms. Tapley will continue to answer the questions.
Thank you, and you were correct.
Thank you.
Now, that's pretty shocking. McCallum did back down, but only because he was embarrassed into it. Remember, this is a government that just last Friday was bragging in the House of Commons about how open they are.
Our government has released this information because government information belongs to Canadians. Our government will continue to be open and transparent with Canadians because we believe that's the right thing for a government to do, because we believe in open by default government.
This is a government led by a Prime Minister who introduced a private member's bill to make information more free and bragged during the election campaign that he was going to open up government to Canadians. Check it out.
We'll make transparency a fundamental principle of our government. We'll ensure that all government data is open by default, and we'll give you easy access to your own personal information.
And yet, when a member of Parliament tries to ask a question at a committee, the Liberals try and stop them. Can you imagine the screams of horror from the media party, from the Liberals, from others, if the Conservatives had tried this sort of thing? It'd be deafening. What are we talking about here? Why am I bringing this up? Well, it's because it's part of a pattern. Despite their claims to be open, to be transparent, the Liberals are proving to be anything but. They are using every trick in the book they can to stop the public from finding out what's going on. Allowing visitors from Mexico freely into Canada can be a dangerous situation. Like I said, there's a a narco-civil war in the northern parts of the country, areas controlled by drug cartels. There have to be studies done within the immigration department on whether this is a safe move. Are Mexican travel documents secure? Are border points of entry secure? Ms. Tapley wasn't really answering those questions. She wasn't saying much, even when her boss wasn't stepping in to stop her from talking at all. Trudeau and his gang promised openness. They're proving just to be the same old Liberals once again. Do as I say, not as I do, and don't ask questions.